her, he isn't a particularly patient person either.
I want you to stop wasting my time! I already know how to squat and breathe and feel the sun. I want to know how to shoot fire out of my fingertips.
Ugh. And I think Tenzin's outburst of astonishment when others don't share his beliefs is extremely like Aang. It reminds me of when he became frustrated with the rest of the gang, when they didn't understand why he was conflicted about killing Ozai.
This goes against everything I learned from the monks. I can't just go around wiping out people I don't like.
If it's in the name of keeping balance, I'm pretty sure the universe will forgive you.
This isn't a joke, Sokka! None of you understands the position I'm in!
Hey, we do understand. It's just...
Just what, Katara? What? We're trying to help! And when you figure out a way for me to beat the Fire Lord without taking his life, I'd love to hear it!
Hey, don't walk away from this!
And as a result, Korra rebels, as she's not really one who could be fit into a predetermined mold, and they have a falling out in that episode. But Tenzin learns an important lesson, to not way of response to others. Not necessarily moving past his need to be similar to his father quite yet, but taking the first step into realizing that his idolization of his father and what he was taught isn't the most important part of his own personality or his life, and he needs to grow beyond that to be able to have a healthy relationship with himself and others. And in Book 2, when Korra requires his spiritual guidance to be able to enter the spirit world, he insists that he be the one to lead her, even though it's rather obvious that Jinora is more spiritually inclined. There's definitely an aspect of protection for his daughter here, but for the most part, it's important that he be able to guide Korra into the spirit world and accomplish it in the first place. He was able to live up to his father's expectations and image in every way except spiritually, even after dedicating his entire life to studying and mastering the ways of the air nomads.
Welcome to the I Disappoint Dad Club.
To not be able to guide the Avatar in this way is the ultimate failure for him, and is the final catalyst that pushes Tenzin to his last and most important revelation about himself. He's able to accept that he simply cannot accomplish this task. It is outside his skill set, and no matter the amount of training and effort, he wouldn't be able to do it. After all, he has already been trying for years. There are some things that are just out of our reach, especially if we keep comparing ourselves to the f***ing Avatar. And because he's a well-written, fleshed-out character, even after his big realization in Book 2 about him being his own person, in Book 3, Change, he has trouble with forcing the old airbender ways on the new generation because of that struggle of revering his father too much. The ideals, harsh and strict lifestyle, and mindset are all ground into the new recruits as soon as they arrive, and Tenzin struggles to remove himself from his endeavor to revive the old Air Nation, mostly for the sake of his father. The apex of his accomplishment would be restoring exactly what his father knew to the present world. That way he could truly immerse himself in that dream lifestyle and situation. If he ever wanted the opportunity to be able to masquerade as his own father, this would be the chance. But once again, he is able to step aside and allow the next generation, mainly his daughter, Jinora, usher in the new airbenders in a more modern and balanced way. After all, you can't deny that in original Airbenders, Tenzin was on the verge of losing a lot of the volunteers. It's a different age, and there needed to be different leadership. I'm proud of Tenzin for being able to realize that, and it is certainly because of the development he went through throughout Book 2. Another important aspect of Tenzin is he is also a pretty clear example of the gifted child phenomenon. Gifted child syndrome is a pattern among those children that were favored and told they were especially talented or special, feeling inadequate or developing a low self-esteem due to their never measuring up to what they were told they were going to be. Tenzin was given everything that Aang ever wanted in a child. He was an airbender, he was quiet and respectful, and he was eager to learn all about the then extinct culture. And as a result, Aang completely doted on him. We learn in Book 2, when his other siblings are introduced to us, that they largely felt neglected by Aang on the whole, and that Tenzin was taken on special vacations, given one-on-one lessons, and, in general, was doted on more than the other children. This causes him to put a huge amount of pressure onto himself to get things correct. People are keenly aware of this in Korra's case, but I think it's especially important to remember that her teacher undergoes very similar struggles, and that's why he's able to be so effective as a trainer to Korra, and not just in airbending, but as a mentor as well. He is the perfect mentor for her because he understands her in a way that many others couldn't, maybe besides Asami. I mean, we can see this reflected in their coinciding struggles with their need for success, praise, and constant progress in their own abilities, despite the fact that they emerge in different ways. After all, they were raised quite differently as children, but they still go through similar development. Common behavior for gifted children includes frustration at not being able to learn new skills, a need to be special, and namely, this is the most important one in Tenzin's case, imposter syndrome. This feeling is prevalent among gifted children, where even despite immense success on their part, they might feel that none of it is actually earned, and that others have a higher perception of their worth than is actually true. Their biggest worry is that one day, everyone will find out that they're a fraud, and they will disappoint those most important to them. In their eyes, everything has been given to them by their parents. I mean, after all, they feel larger than life, so the child themselves doesn't really credit themselves with any of their accomplishments, and whenever they achieve anything or acquire more responsibility, they fear that they won't be able to keep up. Tenzin constantly feels that he's letting others down, even though we know he's a man of extreme ability and wisdom who is doing the best he can, even if he does have more to learn. Frankly, I don't think anyone has ever learned everything anyway. When he's first working with Korra, and especially after she leaves him for Unalaq, when Jinora is missing in the spirit world, when he's charged with the new airbenders, when Korra is missing for a long period of time, he holds himself responsible and convinces himself that it is because of his failure that all of this happens. He just doesn't have any faith in his own ability, even though we can see from an audience perspective that it is quite great. He's a very capable man. After all, it's his father to him who is special and is the ultimate airbender. He couldn't possibly hope to fill his shoes. But that's the thing he realizes in Darkness Falls. He's not meant to. He doesn't have to fill his shoes or do something just as momentous as his father. He just has to live his life and be happy however he wants to. And we all know that's what Aang would want from him anyway, even if there were some subconscious push to repopulate the Air Nation. Now, Tenzin is a great person and works for the balance of the world anyway because it's his desire to, and he's eventually able to realize his own happiness and fulfillment through that act. He learns to appreciate his own talent and be proud of what he's been able to do, not simply comparing it to what his father did. He's even able to delegate and trusts his children much more in the later books, not putting so much pressure on himself to solve every single issue and overextending his reach. He sends them to find Korra, which is a very critical job, and trusts them to remain safe and keep each other safe, despite the strong dilemma he had in Book 2 about allowing Jinora to lead Korra into the spirit world. Overall, due to this very realistic and grounded struggle, Tenzin is one of the most textured characters in the Avatar universe. Writing Aang's children to be full, layered characters with understandable issues with their upbringing, despite the fact that it wasn't overtly tragic or negative, is one of the smartest choices Korra made as a show. They are so relatable because of this, and I'm sure many gifted children saw themselves in both Tenzin and Korra as the show wore on, and teaching the audience through his realization that he isn't his father, and it's not the child's job to live up to their parents, mirror their personality, or walk in their path, is extremely important for so many to learn, to be able to move forward and accept their own skill set for what it is, and be able to best utilize it. Not only this, but that no one, regardless of age, is above such development. Tenzin is a middle-aged man who teaches Korra much about airbending and responsibility, but he still has a lot to learn himself, and even by the end of the series, he's not a complete person. Like I said, I don't think that's a real thing. And there is nothing more realistic than that lesson. He taught me a lot about myself and imposter syndrome, my need for praise. I'm so thankful this show was around to be able to deliver this message, because I think it in the end really did help me and so many others. But if there is anything else on this subject that you would like to discuss, let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk about this show more. I know I haven't done a video about it in probably over a year, so let me know if you'd like to see more about Korra. But if you want to support us further, you can go to patreon.com/positivity. That's POSITVTY. There you can get all this content weeks before it goes up on YouTube. You get the unedited essays, so you can hear all of my mistakes and corrections before I actually edit them out and make myself sound smarter than I actually am.
McQueen has
you
the
can
highest
pretty much
attack
tell me
speed.
what you want to see a video on, and I will be contractually obligated to make it immediately. So go there if you want some extra content, but also would like to support us in the process. It really helps this channel out. Also,
This gives
all you
me an
folks on
idea.
YouTube, y'all are great, and we appreciate the support. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. It means a ton to me, so thank you everyone for liking, watching, and keep on doing that.
Death is your only destination. It ends here. It ends here. It ends here.
Battle mode activated. Battle mode activated.
Good show's about to. Please enjoy the show.
Battle mode activated. Battle mode activated.
Good show's about to. Good show's about. Good show's about to. Good show's about to start. Please enjoy the show. It ends here. It ends.
Battle mode activated.
Let the dance begin. All dreams vanish at this moment. It ends here. Good show's about to start.
Death is your only
Good show's about to start. Everything will eventually come to a standstill. At
Shit.
some point. In the end, I couldn't leave anything behind.
You know I won't turn down your request. I must take this seriously now. The smoke has risen. The smoke has risen. Now, play your heart out. Don't blink. A mere moment separates.
It ends here. Death is your only destination.
Where the fuck is McQueen?
It ends here. It ends here. Good show's about to start.
I think I just let people go on this bottom half.
Don't blink. A mere moment separates. Don't blink. A mere
Death is your only destination.
The smoke has risen. The smoke has risen. Now, Play your heart out.
It ends here. It ends here. It ends here. Good show's about to start. Please enjoy the show. Good show's about to start. Please enjoy the show. It ends here.
Don't blink. A mere moment.
It ends here.
Death is your only death.
It ends. Good show's about to start. Good show's about.
The smoke has risen.
Good show's about. Good show's about to start.
Don't blink. A mere moment separates real and fake. Don't blink. A mere moment separates real and fake. The smoke has risen. Now, play your heart out.
Please enjoy the show.
The smoke has risen. Death is... Don't blink. A mere moment separates real.
It ends here. It ends here.
Don't blink. A mere moment separates real.
Good show's about to start. Good show's about to start. I create the machines to assist you.
I'll take it.
You're a grown-up and you need help with your math from a kid? Wow, your student days must have been ages ago. Okay, these are linear equations in two variables. Yeah, I know how to solve them.
Going fast makes me feel alive. My heart beats in hyperdrive. Welcome to the mean streets of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's New Domino City, where sector security prowls, outlaw duel runners break the disenfranchised satellite district, and apocalyptic evils stir beneath the ancient earth from the far side of a doomed future. Get ready to rev it up, because up-and-coming turbo duelist Yusei Fudo is about to change the destiny of his city and world with his 10 most important cards. We'll start this list the same way Yusei started the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D series in his first duel against Officer Tetsu Trudge in Episode 1 by calling on Speed Warrior. This level 2 Wind Warrior with 900 attack and 400 defense comes out of the gate with a burst of speed that lets him double his original attack to 1800 for the extent of the battle phase on the turn summon. He's been a core part of Yusei's deck building for a long time, and was one of the few cards that has remained with him since his days running with the Enforcers, a duel gang comprised of Yusei, Jack Atlas, Crow Hogan, and led by Kalen Kessler. Compared to the previous anime series, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds has a grittier, slightly older aesthetic that Speed Warrior helps set the tone for. Rather than the comic book spunkiness and bright colors of Jade Yuki's Elemental Heroes, or Yukimoto's menagerie of mythical monsters, Speed Warrior is a drab gray-green color with tactical armor that includes a breathing apparatus reminiscent of those used by jet pilots. This grit over whimsy design drives home a distinction between Yusei and predecessor Yugi and Jaden. His home is not a school or family shop where games are played for fun. Of course, the adventures of Yugi and Jaden would dredge their own darkness, but the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is a dystopian police state. For Yusei, the freedom and welfare of his friends and found family relies on his ability to outpace the law, despite limited access to resources. His Episode 1 duel against Trudge happens because the officer wants to apprehend Yusei's friend Rally for illegally obtaining the computer chips that enables Yusei to operate his dual runner at full power. Like Yusei and his DIY motorcycle, Speed Warrior makes the most of its 900 attack with its doubling effect. Trudge even responds with glee when Yusei first summons Speed Warrior, thrilled that his quarry can't put up monsters strong enough to take down Assault Dog. He's wrong, of course, underestimating Yusei, because isn't that just another dual-running punk from Satellite? Speed Warrior destroys Trudge's Assault Dog, and after a gauntlet of back and forths, Yusei takes the duel. Speed Warrior would often work in conjunction with other Yusei staples like Chunk Synchron, who can revive it from the grave, and Reinforced Truth to call it out from the deck, and this card would run alongside Yusei during some of his darkest duels, bravely charging such dangerous foes as Flying Fortress Skyfire, 100-Eyes Dragon, and Earthbound Immortal Uru. In the period leading up to the World Racing Grand Prix, Yusei, shaken by an intense encounter with the synchro-absorbing Mech-Lord Emperor Weasel, experiences some nightmares. In particular, he dreams up a duel that opens up with his opponent's Tiger Dragon easily tearing down Speed Warrior and the back row set to protect it. Speed Warrior is so important to Yusei that when his unconscious mind gives shape to unspoken fears, the resulting scenario is one that includes Speed Warrior's demise. All of the things on this list are important to Yusei, but we're talking about Speed Warrior first to both ground this list in the world of 5Ds, and because it's a position that reflects the thematic importance of Speed Warrior to Yusei's deck. All journeys start with a decision to begin moving, and this Sparky monster is the point where many of Yusei's most tried and true strategies hit the ground running. In Episode 1, Yusei's friend Rally Dawson gives him a chip to power his dual running. In Episode 3, Rally presents him with the number 9 card on this list, Turbo Booster. It's a level 1 Earth machine with no attack or defense that nevertheless retains an important spot in Yusei's deck. Turbo Booster can special summon itself from the hand if you have already performed a normal summon here this turn, which alone would make it a great extended. But even better is it has the ability to tribute itself to destroy an opponent's monster that battled one of yours, making it a great option for pivoting during your main phase 2.
I'm so sick of fucking
Yusei would
Doom
use its
posters,
removal
man.
effect during his second duel against Tetsu Trudge, removing the